Welcome, Jericho here. Certainly welcome you to We the People, a new birth of freedom. I want to read something to you. This is the preamble to the Declaration of Independence. July 4th, 1776. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another. Let me read that part again. It becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. History tells us, and our founding fathers remind us, that there comes a time when the political bands that have attempted or have held us together no longer hold us together. Opinions are divided. Beliefs become divided. Convictions, commitments, perceptions, truth. The perception of truth becomes so divided that those political bands cannot hold us together. When they wrote these words, they had lived and were living every word that they articulated. Because there came a time when the political bands, as well as spiritual bands, between them and the King of Britain was no longer viable. It no longer was working. The king had a different agenda, a different perception, a different motive, a different ideology of what he defined as truth, if in such that even entered his mind. Because those that seek power, and power alone, their character is extremely flawed. Truth is not necessary. Relevance is not necessary. Absolute is not in their mind or vocabulary. But what does motivate them is the insatiable thirst for power. Why? Because they're tyrants. The insatiable thirst for wealth, status, power, prestige, control, manipulation. And all else is not significant. So our founding fathers lived every word that I just wrote to you and the rest that's contained in the Declaration of Independence. They lived it out. They experienced it. They had expressed in writing and verbally their grievances against the King of Britain and against the political bands that had held them together up to a certain point. But the king was no longer interested in their truth, in their newfound truth, where they said, we hold these truths to be self-evident. The only evident truth the king was interested in was his personal interest in what he defined as truth. And so the time for the cause of separation became material, tangible, manifest. My friends, my fellow American patriots, that is exactly where we are today. The political bands that have bound us together as a nation no longer work. It's just empty rhetoric its mindless attempts to gain more power by politicians and governmental entities. More power, more status, more wealth, more manipulation. And as you've heard me say before, there are three branches of power in our government: executive, judicial, legislative. But then there is a fourth power, not connected to the government, but works hand in hand with the government, or should be able to, but it doesn't anymore. And that fourth power, that is not government related in the sense of policies and politics, that fourth power is we the people. We the people of the United States of America. We hold the ultimate supreme power. And what governs us is the laws of nature and nature's God, the separate but equal stations to which we appeal to and that we're entitled to. We're entitled to the laws of nature and nature's God. They're separate but equal. Separate in the fact that it was God, the Creator, who created the laws of nature. And those are the things that we're entitled to, especially when it comes to the place that we're facing today, where the political bands that have connected us together are no longer viable. They don't work. They're worthless. They're empty rhetoric. And to make it more plain, it's just bullshit lies. Bullshit lies is what it's come down to. So I, for one, have disconnected myself from those political bands. I'm a free man. I understand life. I understand liberty. I understand justice. I understand truth. And I understand the pursuit of happiness. And the political parties that want to propagate socialism, I can't join myself with that. I cannot support that. That is not according to the laws of nature and nature's God. Those that have Marxist, subtle Marxist, fascist, communistic ideologies that lay in the shadows of their beliefs, I cannot support that or join that or be a part of that. I am a free man. I am not controlled by a politician. I am not controlled by a president. That completely detracts from our founding documents. Can't do it. And I trust that you will join me, not follow me, but join me, because we are all part of we the people of the United States. You yourself have to understand your own personal leadership when it comes to life, liberty, the pursuit of happiness, justice, and truth. And the foundation of those truths are found in our Charter of Liberty, which I always say includes the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. You have to understand who you are as far as your ancestral lineage and stop being called black, white, yellow, red, brown. Do not, I can't emphasize this enough, do not from this day forward allow yourself to be categorized by an incompetent, degenerate, manipulative, power-hungry political scam by any politician or any government entity that wants to continue to classify us as we the people as black, white, yellow, brown, red. That's not who we are. Those colors came out of a crayon box, a Crayola crayon box. My birth did not originate in a Crayola crayon box. Find out who you are as an individual. What's your ancestry? What's your lineage? Who are you as an individual? You're not a black crayon, a white crayon, a red crayon, a yellow crayon, a brown crayon. That's generic. That's humiliating. That's disgusting. It's perverse. Find out who you are, and then understand that the founding documents that we stand on supports who we are as individuals, sovereign individuals, and we the people, who contain these self-evident truths. They're intrinsic, they're inherent inside of us. They are the crown jewels of this nation that's trying to be hijacked from political thugs, hustlers that'll sell you out for power and money. Don't be caught up in their psychopathic charisma, their flowery speeches, because it's all empty bullshit rhetoric. Know who you are as part of we the people of the United States of America. Understand your sovereignty, your independence, your ancestral lineage, and understand the truth that created us to love life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Until next time, God bless. Be a true American.